ENCOLAWS lawyer, patent trademark attorneys, investment consultants would like to wish you a productive day and update you on our legal document updates week 2 of May 2023 with the following contents. List of scrap permitted for import from overseas. On May 22, 2023, the Prime Minister issues the decision No. 13, 2023. TD providing the list of scrap permitted for import from overseas for use as production materials. The list of scrap permitted for import from overseas for use as production materials includes scrap of iron, steel, cast iron, waste and a scrap of cast iron, waste and a scrap of cast iron, waste and a scrap of alloy steel, waste and a scrap of alloy steel, waste and a scrap of tinned iron or steel, waste and scrap, turnings, shavings, chips, milling scrap, swarf, filings, trimmings, and stampings, whether or not in bundle, waste and a scrap of plastics, of polymers of ethylene, soft, not firm, of polymers of styrene, of polymers of vinyl chloride, scrap paper, unbleached craft paper or paperboard or corrugated paper or paperboard, other paperboard made mainly of bleached chemical pulp, not colored in mass, paper or paperboard made mainly of mechanical pulp, for example, newsprints of newspapers, journals, and similar printed matter, scrap of glass, cullet and other waste and scrap of glass, excluding glass from cathode, ray tubes or other activated glass of Hanh 85.49, scrap of non-ferrous metal, copper waste and scrap, nickel waste and scrap, aluminium waste and scrap, zinc waste and scrap, tin waste and scrap, manganese waste and scrap, manganese waste and scrap. Organizations and individuals that directly import scrap for use as production materials may only import scrap for use as production materials for their establishments according to the design capacity to produce products and goods. This decision takes effect on June 1, 2023. Change the agencies receiving dossiers for licensing mineral activities. On May 12, 2023, the government issues Decree No. 22, 2023. Nay 2023 CP on amending and supplementing a number of articles of decrees related to business activities in the field of natural resources and environment. Decree No. 22, 2023 T amends Article 47 Decree No. 158, 2016 CP on agencies receiving dossiers for licensing mineral activities, dossiers for approval of mineral deposits, and dossiers for mineral mine closure as follows. The Office for Receiving and Returning Results of Handling Administrative Procedures of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment shall take responsibility for receiving and returning results of administrative procedures under the licensing competence of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, previously called the General Department of Geology and Minerals of Vietnam, the Public Administration Center of the Provincial Level People's Committee, or the Division for Receiving and Returning Results of the Provincial Level Department of Natural Resources and Environment, shall receive dossiers for licensing mineral activities, previously prescribed by the Provincial Level Department of Natural Resources and Environment. Apart from changing dossier receiving agencies, the decree also shortened the time of carrying out the procedures for the grant of mineral exploration licenses in particular. The term for the dossier receiving agency to check the dossiers within 3 working days previously prescribed by 5 days. Within 38 working days, the dossier receiving agency shall complete the appraisal of papers and documents and other issues relating to mining activities and determination of the charge for the grant of the mining right, previously prescribed by 40 days. Within 3 working days after receiving a dossier for a grant of a mineral exploration license from the licensing agency, the dossier receiving agency shall notify the results of the dossier processing to the applicant for him obligations under regulation previously prescribed by 7 days. The Decree No. 22, 2023 CP takes effect on May 12, 2023. New interest rates are issued by banks in 2023. The interest rate in 2023, including interest rates of short-term loans, outstanding housing support loans, and short-term loans. 1 maximum short-term loan interest rate in credit institutions and foreign bank branches, except for people's credit funds and microfinance institutions. 4.5 per annum decision No. 576 NAN dated March 31, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 2. Maximum short-term loans at people's credit funds and microfinance institutions 5.5 per annum. 3. The interest rate of commercial banks for outstanding housing support loans 5.0 per annum. Decision no. 2081 Q'd, Nan dated December 12, 2022 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 4. The concessional loan interest rate for purchase and rent purchase of social houses and house building, renovation, or repair at the Vietnam Bank for social policies 4.80 per annum. Decision no. 486 TDD dated May 10, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 5. Lending interest rates during the preferential period to grant loans for purchasing social houses and houses for workers at Agribank, BID, Vietcombank, 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 Vietinvestors. 8.7 year. House buyers, 8.7 year. Official dispatch, no. 2308 Nan, TD dated April 1, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 6. Reduce the overnight lending interest rate in interbank electronic payment and lending to offset the capital shortage in the clearing of the State Bank of Vietnam for credit institutions and foreign bank branches. 5B per annum. Decision no. 950 Key Nan dated May 23, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 7. The rediscount interest rate in interbank electronic payment and lending to offset the capital shortage in the clearing of the State Bank of Vietnam for credit institutions and foreign bank branches, 3.5 per annum. 8. The interest rate of overnight lending in interbank electronic payment and lending to offset the capital shortage in the clearing of the State Bank of Vietnam for credit institutions and foreign bank branches, 6.0 per annum. 5.5.5.5. The list of deposit interest rate. 1. Demand deposits and deposits with a term of less than 1 month 0.5 per annum. Decision no. 576 no. 576 non-dated March 31, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. 2. Deposits with a term of 1 month to less than 6 months at banks 5 per annum. 3. Deposits with a term of 1 month to less than 6 months at people credit institutions and microfinance organizations 5.5 per annum. 4. Deposit in Vietnam Dong made by Vietnam Development Bank, Vietnam Bank for Social Policies, People's Credit Funds, and microfinance institutions at the State Bank of Vietnam 0.5 per annum. Decision no. 578 Nan dated March 31, 2023 of the State Bank of Vietnam. Approve the National Power Development Master Plan. Prioritize gas-fired power, renewable electricity export. On May 15, 2023, the Prime Minister issues decision no. 500 keyed it on approving the National Power Development Master Plan for the 2021-2030 period with a vision to 2050 Power Master Plan VI. The master plan and orientation to synchronously develop and diversify types of power sources with a reasonable structure to ensure energy security, improve the self-reliance of the electricity sector and reduce dependence on imported fuels, continue to promote the development of renewable energy sources, hydropower, wind power, solar power, biomass power, etc., new energy and clean energy, hydrogen, green ammonia, etc., that are suitable for ensuring the safety of the system at a reasonable cost, especially self-generated and self-consumed electricity sources. Rooftop solar. Efficiently exploit and use domestic fossil fuel sources in combination with imported sources. Gradually reduce the proportion of coal-fired power, prioritize the development of domestic gas-fired power, and develop imported long power sources on a suitable scale. Development plan. By 2030, onshore wind power capacity will reach 21,880 MW. Offshore wind power capacity to serve domestic demand will reach around 6,000 MW. And the number can be higher in case of rapid technological advancements and changes with reasonable electricity prices and transmission cost. The solar power potential in Vietnam is approximately 963,000 MW by 2030, and total solar power capacity is expected to increase by 4,100 MW. The 2050 development target aims to reach a capacity of 168,594, 189,252 in Hanoi. By 2030, the total capacity of hydropower sources, including small hydropower, is expected to reach 29,346 MW, producing 101.7 billion Q, which can be further developed if economic and technical conditions permit. Prioritize the development of combined heat and power plants using waste heat, blast furnace gas, and byproducts of technological chains in industrial facilities. Coal-fired power plants. Only continue implementing projects already in the revised Power Master Plan VE and under construction until 2030. Orient to implement fuel conversion to biomass and ammonia, with plants that have been operating for 20 years when the price is suitable. Stop operating plants that are over 40 years old if fuel conversion is not feasible. Gas-fired power plants. Prioritize the maximum use of domestic gas for power generation. Export and import of electricity. In 2030, import about 5,000 MW from Laos under the agreement between the two governments producing 18.8 billion kwu, which could increase to 8,000 MW. Prioritize the unlimited capacity development of renewable energy sources for export and new energy production on the basis of ensuring energy security and bringing high economic efficiency. The goal is to achieve an electricity export capacity of approximately 5,000, 10,000 MW by 25,000, 10,000 MW by 2030. 5 cases of temporary closing of expressways. On May 19, 2023, the government issues Decree No. 25/2023 on amending and supplementing a number of articles of the government's Decree No. 32/2014 NTP dated April 22, 2014 on the management, operation, and maintenance of expressway facilities. Decree 25 amends and supplements a number of regulations on opening to traffic and temporary closing of expressways. Accordingly, expressway may be put into operation or use only when they satisfy the following requirements: having been tested and accepted for completion of construction in accordance with the law on construction, having an approved traffic organization plan, having operating procedures for the items and equipment, tunnel works on expressways using equipment for ventilation, dust filtration, environmental control, fire prevention and fighting, electrical systems and other equipment in service of exploitation and operation, National Traffic Management and Operation Center, Route Traffic Management and Operation Center, Route Traffic Management and Operation Centers, equipment installed in expressway facilities including equipment for vehicle identification, load weighing, traffic control, construction monitoring, fire prevention and fighting equipment, and equipment for rescue. Cases of the temporary closing of expressways. Temporary closing of expressways is the temporary closing of one direction or both directions, a section or the whole route of expressways, except for vehicles on duty of the traffic police, means of rescue, troubleshooting, traffic assurance. Temporary closing of an expressway due to unsafety for operation and use is applied in the following cases. Facilities are damaged due to work incidents as a result of natural disasters. Damaged facilities cannot be operated and used safely. Fire incidents, especially serious accident, occurs, requiring the temporary closing the expressway in service of rescue and traffic safety. Occurrence of a disaster, epidemic, or at a request to serve national defense and security by a competent state agency. Decree No. 25/2023. TT takes effect on July 15, 2023.
Thank you for reading our legal document updates and for trusting in our services.